Not El Dorado, but what's the Leonardo. Leonardo. And they also had some plastic masks that you can paint or something. But
yeah, that's the national mask. So you don't paint them. Actually, use them as a form for papier-mâché.
Okay.
So you put like the newspapers inside.
The newspapers?
Yeah, so you take a newspaper and you turn it apart to little pieces, and then you put these to water and to the PVR glue, and after that you kind of glue it to the mask.
Oh, I'm glad I had an idea that I should bring it, but I'm glad that I didn't know all the details about glasses.
Yeah, hello.
About glasses.
Today we have our wearing masks as prescribed.
Yes.
Having our favorite part.
And we also stay at home.
Oh, maybe.
This is our
in the forest. Okay. Right, that seems to work. Seems to be okay. Well, just let's hope that's okay. Goes fine. Okay. Lots of people today. I would say the good side of the quarantine thing is that we don't have those happy people singing for us today.
Although I'm told that singing really helps.
It does. So that's why I think we should start with a bit of immune system boosting. Do a bit of singing. We'll have it in a second. So if you just look for Dr. Robert lyrics, do you know the song Dr. Robert by the Beatles?
Doctor Who?
Dr. Robert. So if you just look for the lyrics, can you find the lyrics on your phone? Dr. Robert.
Dr. Robert.
Dr. Robert.
The Beatles.
The Beatles.
On my phone.
Yes.
Maybe on my laptop. That's very traditional.
So we don't need more than one, we can just put it all together. I'll just turn on the music. So we can listen to it one time to see what that's like.
Is it a song about drugs?
Oh no.
Because it seems like...
It's a very happy song. Just what we need these days. So I'll just turn it on so you can listen to it while you're looking for it. And then we'll...
Special cup. It is a song about drugs.
Oh no.
Yes.
No way.
Medical cup.
Well, that's the idea of the song, so let's sing it. Let's start with just singing it to send some happy vibrations and to feel...
Will those balls in our heads?
Oh yeah, it'll be a very happy thing. You ready? 3, 2, 1, 2, 3.
And I'll say you call Dr. Robert. And I give their time and all Dr. Robert. But you, the better man, he helps you to understand. He has everything he can.
Dr. Robert. If you're down, he'll pick you up, Dr. Robert. Take a drink from his special cup, Dr. Robert. He's a man who won't believe, helping everyone in need. No one can succeed like Dr. Robert. Well, feeling fine. Well, he'll make you Dr. Robert. And watch for national health, Dr. Robert. You'll take money just to see yourself with Dr. Robert. Dr. Robert. Will you a better man? He helps you to understand. Does everything he can, Dr. Robert. Well, you're feeling fine. Well, he'll make you Dr. Robert. In my friend, I said you call Dr. Robert. In my friend, I said you call Dr. Robert. Dr. Robert. Oh, now we are protected from all sorts of viruses. I think that was bad enough to scare all the viruses away. Maybe not as bad as those guys do, but we're trying. We're trying. And now, I'll help us out. Thank you. Do something really interesting. Welcome to 7. So that poem is really mysterious because apparently it came from nowhere. It says it's a translation from the Sumerian, but when you try to find it or find any more references, it's nowhere. It's like people talk about it, but you're trying to find the source, it doesn't exist. So let's read it. So the 7. There's 7 in number, just 7. In the terrible depths they are 7. Low down in the sky they are 7. In the terrible depths, the dark houses, they swell, they grow tall, they're neither female nor male. Their silence heavy with sea storms. They bear off no women, their loins are empty of children. They are strangers to pity, compassion is far from them. They are deaf to men's prayers, entreaties can't reach them. They are horses that grow to grey skies that feed on mountains. They are enemies of our friends. They feed on the gods. They tear up the highway. They spread out over the roads. They are the faces of evil. They are the faces of evil. They are 7. They are 7. They are 7 times 7. In the name of heaven, let them be turned from our sight. In the name of the earth, let them be turned from our sight. Isn't it lovely? How do you feel about it? How do you feel about it? How do you feel about it?
Who, me?
Yeah, you. Yes, yes.
No, thank you.
Now we can say hello.
Hello,
Hello!
everyone.
Well, actually, I think if
It's
you
not
move...
working.
No, it's working. It's fine.
Hey.
Actually, I think if you move to that chair, if I sit here, then it can record all of us.
Okay.
Actually. Keep on moving. moving. Oh, more board. Oh, that's okay. Wow, so how do you feel about it?
Well, it is mysterious. Can you feel mysterious? Probably you can't. Well, probably I can't. I can't say curious. I think it's just completely lack of understanding. So I might understand individual words
Yes.
or numbers.
Yes,
So
good.
when they are put together, nothing.
It's really good. So that's where we start every time.
Yeah, ignorance.
I look at it, you look at it, we look at it, oh, what is it? Something weird. A little close and sometimes it becomes a bit more clear. Okay.
Sometimes it becomes unmasked.
What do you feel?
Am I allowed to read references right now?
Yeah.
Or is it okay, so I did a reference on Sumerian culture, and number 7 is sacred for them. So they do believe that Earth is flat, and there are domes above the Earth. Sometimes there are only 3 of them, but sometimes there are 7. They also have the underworld.
7 who?
7 domes.
Like levels of sky.
Oh.
Yeah. So they also have the underworld, which is called core. Core. Okay, let's call it core. And when you want to enter the core, you have to pass the gates, and there are 7 of gates. They also have a lot of gods, but there are top of gods, like 10, top 10,
Top 7.
top 7, yeah, but there are top 7. But they also do have demons from the underworld, and there are 7 of demons. So
it's really well balanced.
Yeah, it's well balanced. So
Maybe it's just really, sorry.
Maybe they just know one number, they use it everywhere.
Yeah, that's...
So do you know Goetia? So Goetia, it's a science about demons, and
Science.
Oh,
it's kind
yes.
of well, it is a science.
Demonology. Like.
Yeah, and
Psychology, okay.
there are these 2 very famous books, The Key of Solomon. The Key of Solomon, yeah. So in these books, demons are not only described, but it also has, let's say, spells, to call demons and to make a deal, to sell your soul.
Yeah, and importantly, to protect yourself from them.
Yeah. So when I read this poem, from the start I was thinking about, so there are 7, and it can be heavens, it can be gods, it can be gates, it can be the sacred number overall. But as you read it, you see such words as heaven, gods, and also you have this line with evil, faces of evil, and so now I think about it, it's kind of a spell. It's not about calling for a demon. It's about talking to them, well, kind of.
Yeah.
As I call it.
If we talk about the form, then it is a classical spell which you find in different cultures, different times. When you have the name of the demon, if you can, or if you describe the demon if you feel like you shouldn't be naming them, or if they don't have names. And then in the end you say something like, in the name of heaven, let them be torn from our sight. So we have lots and lots of spell tablets, and again different cultures, Sumerian, Jewish, all sorts of places. They vary. Sometimes they have the name of the demon, and the next line it's 1 letter short, 1 letter short, 1 letter short, and then it just disappears into nothing. Or you put the demon and you surround the name with spells. Or, like here, you describe them and then you just say, go away. That works. Maybe we should do the same with the virus.
Oh, I have a story. I don't know if I can tell it, but so I have a friend. She's originally from Ural, from Yekaterinburg, and she lived there in 80s, and she had a lot of friends. So in 80s there are a lot of Satan cults on Ural. So she knew a girl who was involved in this cult, and there was a guy, and he was kind of a leader. So a few young men and women, they decided to call for Beelzebul, and like to cross the mirror and to go on the road to hell. So this girl, she wrote a note to her mom, and it said something like, "Don't worry, mom, it's not a death, it's just other way of presence."
Yes.
Yeah, and then she left to the wood, and I think it was spring on Ural, and spring on Ural is very cold. So she was like in a very light dress, and she and maybe 5 more guys went to the wood, and they decided to make a ritual. And her mom found that note. She called this guy who was a leader. He didn't really believe in that, but he was a leader. So he had to take his car to go for them, to search for them, to save them. They didn't kill themselves, but no, they were ready to do it.
Well, they had the point at least. At least they knew. They were not afraid. They could understand it. Because with the panic we have today, people just forget who they are and why they are.
Do you think so?
The panic. I was like, oh no, a bit of a virus. No, you're afraid of every sneeze, every shadow. You're not supposed to be afraid of every sneeze and every shadow. If there's some danger, you take it, you face it, you do your precautions, but you don't run around like a headless chicken. Okay? So I chose this poem to kind of put things in perspective. Because if you stop for a minute and feel it, and you feel like there are greater forces in our universe than our science dare to admit. What's a tiny little virus compared to these guys? What's a tiny little virus that kills, what was it, 5 people? When you have the
Some
7...
600 died in Italy yesterday.
Well, how many people died in car accidents in Italy? Well, maybe not now because it's
not now
cold.
Because somehow it has a positive effect.
It's
traffic.
like there are more people dying from other things,
Like
individual, yes, or like what is called norovirus.
Which virus?
Norovirus. It's like I was talking to a friend in Scotland, and they're like, well, okay, there are 5 confirmed cases when people died from the crown virus. All time, but every
No, it's not
day.
crown virus, it's COVID virus. It just sounds like crown in Russian, but actually it's like COVID-19.
Oh, I don't care.
I'm
It's
just
crown. It's
saying.
connected with crown. I'm guessing a little bit, again, reading that stuff is really good. Because it starts connecting you.
You know, I remember the news, well, it was something from the news. So there is this beer company in USA, and it's called Corona, so it's beer Corona.
So they're not popular now, are they?
Yeah, and people, like, one of the most popular search in Google for now in USA is Corona beer connected with coronavirus?
Yes, of course it is.
My goodness,
what
it's
I
so
get,
good.
like you can see here in my Street of Life, again from Sumerian, which went to other cultures. If you look at the Cabal, which is actually a recent thing, but apparently it has deeper roots, and it has those Sephirot, if you know.
Sephirot is, well, I know Kabbalah, but...
You know, Cabal, and they have their own kind of Tree of Life. And they have 10 Sephirot. You have the crown Sephirot, Keter. And it's like the crown, and it's, well, you can say gold. It has the ultimate light. And then it emanates, like flows down, feels all the Sephirot. So they kind of go, I don't really remember, but there are 10 of them. And the first one, or the 10th one, so it's like the heavenly realm, that's like earthly realm, or spirit and physical stuff. So that's called Malchut. Malchut, which is kingdom. Somehow I get news from the Gnomiki. They say that the crown coronavirus is connected to this Malkut, which in its way connected to the Keter. I don't know what it means, but I'm just sharing things.
Some people believe that Donald Trump invented coronavirus.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, of course we have our crown chakra, you know. So it's supposed to be activated to protect you. Because we are more than just physical bodies, obviously. There are so many unexplained stuff going on. That protects you better than any masks, really.
I also read about this author, Rothenberg, and I read that he does ethnopoetics, which might be called as emotional stenography. So the purpose of that is that you come to performance poetry and you listen to people who read poems and you write it down like a stenography, but in order not to document the words but to document the emotions, the sounds, all this oral stuff. So this poem, it just feels like very oral. I mean, when it's on the paper you don't really feel it, but when you try to play it in your head, it suddenly becomes very powerful.
It does.
I just don't feel that it is powerful on paper, but when you hear it,
because like any spell is supposed to be spelled. Yeah. Then again, if it is a translation, then if you look at translations from ancient languages, it's really, really funny. Usually what they have is a small tablet with something scribbled on it. And maybe it's just a scratch, or maybe it's a letter. Usually it's not well survived.
I can't read in it.
Yeah, just you have the same piece, and one person says, well, maybe it's a letter A here, and the letter B here, maybe, but I'm not sure. But you have other person who says, oh, it says, ye the great gods of heaven, listen here, I'm talking to you. So in that sense, of course, it's always a very artistic work. And what we have here, I don't know, but it comes to us. So let's have a look. Why is it powerful? Is it, or what kind of power is it? Is it happy? Is it scary? How does it make you feel?
If we talk about symbolism, symbolism affects you a lot of times if it's repetitive. So as an example, there was a movie about con artists, and they decided to fool one man. So he was supposed to play, some game at casino. I don't remember which one, but the one with the circle. Yeah, so he had to name a number, and the whole affair was depended on this number, and they were trying to hypnotize him. So when he came to the town, he was from China. So when he came to the town, they organized his route. So during his route, he would see this exact number on streets, on advertisement, in a taxi, with the girl, with everybody. So and in the end, he named this number because in his subconscious, he remembered it. So he saw it so many times. He thought that it is powerful, it means something. So when we see 7777, 7777, like 8 times, we start to believe that it means something. Because it's
yeah, why not 8? Why not 9? Why 7?
Yeah, it's interesting because many car owners prefer number plates with 777 on them.
Yeah, 7 is a
So
powerful number.
they somehow sense certain power.
So what is 7? What do we know about number 7?
Okay, I just say something else. And also what makes it feel scary is that the author, he says, well, not the author, but no, we say they, we don't name them. And if you do remember, like Harry Potter and Lord Voldemort, he must not be named, and they also must be Messed up in anything.
So on one hand they are specific. They say there are 7.
Yeah.
7. 7. On another hand, we don't see them. We don't dare to look at them. We can't name them. They, ours and them again. So 7 is a powerful number. It's big but not too big. So what do you know about number 7?
It's sacred. It's I forgot. Is it even or is it odd?
It's odd.
It's odd.
It's a prime number.
It also seems like it's not only their 7, but also 7 means something to them.
Yes.
So like 7 times 7, so 7 is not only a name and number them. How can I explain it? Like to call them, to connect with them, you must repeat something 7 times.
So you repeat the word 7 times and then one more time, basically.
And then it's 8.
And then it's 8.
And
So 7, we have 7 planets in original astrology. We have 7 stars, 7 sisters, the Pleiades. That's 7. We have 7 days in a week. Why? We do have 7 days in a week.
No one knows why.
Well, I guess it's 1/4 of a lunar month currently, more or less. Because if you think about it, we have 7 days periods in different cultures. So where does it come from? Apparently from the lunar calendar, because the lunar calendar is the first calendar ever they have. So 7 is magical indeed. It should be restarted.
I don't know. Maybe it's magical today.
also used widely in fairy tales. Like it's not only Snow White with 7 books.
Yeah.
It's also this Russian fairy tale. You know, when a girl she something else. Well, it was all about 7.
It was all about 7. I don't know. I'm the skeptic.
You don't believe in numerology?
Oh, that's good.
Well, I don't believe in numerology only because I'm really bad at maths. So I know 7 times 7 makes 49. Not
It
8.
makes 42.
42?
No, it makes. Yeah, she's right.
I'm not.
It's not right
I'm
because
not wrong.
in your everyday mathematics it might make 49, but in the humanities mathematics it makes 42. Because 42 is another important number.
And 42 is 49 minus 7.
Well, anyway, 7 is like introspective magic. It's deep. Only 9 is deeper. So it's when you look into yourself and you find some magic inside. It can be quite. It's like a crystal. It's clear, but it's hard. Okay. If you even look at the number itself, 7, it's quite strong.
Unless you use Roman numerals.
Well, I don't think you use Roman numerals in the Sumerian text.
No.
That would be 7 and A, B, C, D. No. Well, anyway, 7 comes back again and again.
Yeah. So maybe it's something special. They had special designation for 7. Hadn't they?
I just wanted to check how 7 looks in Sumerian culture, and it's like
It's 7 bits, probably. Yes.
Good.
Yeah, well,
7
it's like 7.
comes after 6.
1,
It looks like a crown.
4, 5, 6.
yeah, it looks like a crown. It's true. And how is it spelled? It's spelled like it's spelled like Imin Seba.
Imen or 7. So Imen or Seba. So Seba comes to 7 apparently, so
Yeah.
that's Akkadian, and that's Sumerian.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have our number 7 coming from the Akkadian. Isn't it great? Now the numbers themselves are obviously like definition. So the 7 number, just 7. So you don't need many. 7 is enough. Maybe that's where you start feeling like, oh, it's a bit scary. But it's not like the 7 million you should be fearing, should be afraid. There are only 7. So if the number is small, it makes it heavier. The terrible depths, there are 7. Bow down in the sky, there are 7. So what is going on here?
So in the underground, in hell, there are 7. But in the heaven, there are also 7.
And somehow bow down means looking down,
And we see the sky.
and we see the sky.
So we have this really
I don't know, I
interesting.
felt like it says like bow down, like don't look to the heaven because there are 7. Look down, there are also 7. But it's like you should not look at gods because it's forbidden. Because gods, if you look at them, you will lose your eyesight, you will die, etc. But if you look to a demon, you won't die. It's tempting, and it's also what is it called? Like it's a test for you, but you can look at demons.
So what we do here
Someone looked
also.
at the serpent
Yes.
a while ago,
Yes.
and then something bad happened to both the lady and her husband. So probably you shouldn't look into serpent's eye, at least if they are demons.
So what we do here is we create the map. We create the kind of world in this, well, let's say poem spell. So we have, first we start with terrible depths, which is...
Terrible deaths.
Yes. So we go down really, really deep, and we say it's horrible.
Oh, depths. Not deaths.
But it sounded like
It sounds like, yes,
Yeah,
it's
English,
totally- yeah. So
Which
if
what we look at.
if Rothenberg was just playing with words or playing with some Sumerian tablets, which probably drew just 2, 3, 5 symbols, then he might have also played with deaths and deaths.
Yeah.
Terrible deaths.
That's how we start. Our reality starts with terror, going down, and bow down. Again, are you a happy person if you have to do it?
well, I don't think it's about being happy or sad. It's about being under power of somebody or something. So it means that you're kind of a vessel
Yes.
to this ruling power.
So we start with talking about something horrible and terrible, and we say it has power over you. It presses you down.
And you must obey it.
Or is it because you choose to obey it? You choose to bow down, although you might avoid bowing down and sort of seeing yourself as a vessel of a powerful lord.
Beyonce has
Or
a song
lords.
Bow Down. When you listen to it, you just want to bow down.
Yeah.
And when we say in the sky there are 7,
There are 7.
so how maybe there are 7, there are 7, there are 7. We can imagine somebody really scared, just repeating it as a mantra. Oh, there are 7, there are 7, there are 7. There's nothing else you can think about. There are 7, there are 7. Oh. And maybe who says it? A happy, free person?
I have a feeling that somebody said it more feels like, not that wisdom, but that knowledge which just floats around and it's kind of a stated fact. And you don't know who or when invented it, it always has been there around you. I mean, it's just my feeling, maybe it's right.
Especially if you imagine it's like a tablet. Who wrote it? Where did it come from? I don't know. In the sky there are 7, so they dominate the sky as well. We create the underworld, we put them in the underworld, and then we turn it upside down, we look at the sky, and say, they dominate the sky as well. We have the complete picture of a world which has underworld and, let's say, overworld, the sky. And there's nowhere where you can seek for shelter. You can't call, oh dear God, could you help me with these guys? Oh no, it's the same person.
So you're trapped.
It's like at some universities where people who see you at your exam are the same people to whom you should be complaining if you don't like the results.
Maybe it's different, like the first 7, they underground, and the other 7, they in the sky, but it's not like they're completely different, it's like they mirror each other.
Yeah, maybe it's different manifestations of the same entities. Okay?
Meaning they're everywhere.
Yes. Which is like, we do have it in other mythologies, but they're more like the moon goddesses, who can be really nice and beautiful. Nymphs? Graces? Muses?
7 muses. I never met one.
So it could be the same entities who are sometimes in the
yeah.
sky, sometimes underground.
I know that there is an opinion, I don't remember in which religion exactly, but there are like 7 kings of hell.
Okay. We like number 7, and it kind of also makes.
No, it's in comics, like in Marvel comics, they have like 7.
Oh, they take the ideas from different places.
So it's like the Satan, the Beelzebub, somebody else.
Oh, they do take the ideas from all the sources, so not surprisingly. So that poem also makes me think about our previous poem, the Welsh poem, because we were talking about Push, the guy.
Well, you were talking, I couldn't pronounce his name.
Push.
There's a special sound in Welsh that only the Welsh and Margaret can pronounce. Yes, so it's spelled like P-U-Y-L-L.
It's like you have it's between ch and sh. It's ch. So you wanted to say le.
But you can't.
Instead you say ch, which is like written as double L and it turns into L sometimes.
Yes, and people say when you write English, the spelling is completely different from what you hear. They don't know Welsh.
In Welsh, how you hear it, so
Welsh is
you
not a
write
language.
It's
language.
It's magic. It's a gnomic language. It's a proper gnomic language. Winnie.
Yes.
Winnie the
Pooh.
Well, anyway, as we were saying, that guy, he came into the poem really strangely because the bird was compared to him. So he was a king, and he changed kingdoms with his friend. What's his name? Aaron.
There are 7 continents.
Yeah.
7.
7, like America.
Because really on the flat Earth,
South
it's all
America,
designed.
North America, South America.
Eurasia, whatever.
Eurasia.
Africa, Eurasia. Australia, Antarctic, and
And the
I was so bad at geography. I was just.
Well, I know.
So is it 7?
Yeah, so it's all planned. It's all handmade. So anyway, Aaron, I think, and his kingdom was like unknown. And then we have the Anunnaki, who are kind of famous now because in like the New Age stuff, they're like, oh, the demons, the Anunnaki, they rule
Japanese.
our world.
Japanese.
No, not Japanese.
Anunnaki,
Anun is the underworld in Welsh mythology is connected to these guys, the Anunnaki from the Sumerian mythology. They're not called the Anunnaki here, but still, it's fascinating. So Puish was that guy who was both the king on earth, or the elvish king, you may say. At the same time, he had his time as being the king of the underground world. So it all keeps turning. Like here, it's not two isolated places like a heaven and hell. They are connected. They can turn into one another. In the terrible depths, dark houses. So they're not people, they're houses. Or do they live in dark houses? Or house like a clan? How do you understand
Maybe
it?
in the terrible depths, in the dark houses.
Maybe.
Because the dark house can be also the house of darkness.
Yes. So now we have a house, something that houses, that keeps inside, a dwelling place. So they're not just floating about, roaming. They have their places, they are rooted. They belong there. Dark houses, of course, terrible, dark, good. They swell, they grow tall. Happy.
They swell then, like, isn't it usually mean, like, you know, in spring when trees are growing?
A swell? No, it's more like a spider drinks your blood and it swells. Or a snake bug drinks your blood and it swells. So they're feeding on something and they're swelling.
Or it's me just eating too much.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And they grow tall.
Basketball players.
They grow bigger and bigger. So they are horrible.
They grow tall to heavens.
So they come. So I guess it's supposed to make you feel afraid again. They're horrible and they're growing. They're swelling.
Yeah, and there's no limit when they stop. So they're like growing and growing. And there is no boundaries to that.
And swelling is not what do you say about a person again, it's what you may say about an insect or...
So it's like, you know, about fulfilling yourself with something, right? Okay.
The swell grows big.
Yeah, and medically speaking, it's also bad.
Yes.
For example...
You will explode eventually?
Well, not really, but also when you break something, when you break a bone, then there's usually swelling. You want to... But also it's interesting that in English we say swell.
You just pause it.
I just pose it.
Yes, right. I'm just going to die.
Well, I said we should...
Oh yeah.
So they live in the dark houses, but they swell, they grow tall, the space is not enough for them. They take up all the space.
Okay.
But they're not really nice here because they are neither female nor male.
Yeah, they must be fat.
So they're neither female nor male is a very good line here. Because what happens in a human mind, we draw a line, and the second we make a line, we create signs. And then we say, oh, that's good, that's bad, that's male, that's female, that's left, that's right, that's up, that's down. But here, you can't do it. This human logic with sides doesn't work here. They are neither female nor male. So all your human logic falls apart the minute you try to approach them.
You know, we're talking about the links to the Welsh mythology, to the Catholic mythology in general. So there were guys, they were called Tuatha De Danann, like the first tribe, the first mythological elves who came to the island of Ireland, to Ireland. Yeah, so before them, there was another tribe and it was called Fomors. And Fomors, they were like shapeless creatures with no gender, terrible monsters, blah blah blah. So,
Oh, same guys as here.
yeah.
So if they have no gender, it means they're really totally inhuman.
Yep.
Not from here, not from our logic. And then you think about all these modern popular things like, oh, I don't know, I'm a girl or I'm not quite a girl, or I'm a boy, I'm not quite a boy, or I'm somewhere in between. Well then, say, okay, how about this? Have you seen that? Doesn't that kind of stop all your conversations? Just look at these guys. You think you have problems with your gender? They have no problems with gender because they haven't any.
But they're intersexual people.
So they're neither female nor male. Because you say, oh well, she's a goddess, maybe a good one, maybe a horrible one, but still we can kind of imagine her in a more or less human shape or human qualities. Or it's a god, it's a he. Again, maybe this way or that way. But we can apply our logic, our filters. Yeah, good. That's all it's here. So, but not here. Neither female nor male. They exist outside of our understanding altogether. Outside of our reach in the terrible depths. They are really huge as well, they grow tall. So we can't even approach them from any side. Maybe they're female or male. No, they're neither. They are a silence heavy with sea storms.
They forecast some snowstorm, but it seems that they were again they somehow mixed things up. So there's no sea storm, no snowstorm, just silence.
So anyway, they are silence heavy with sea storms. So again, silence, darkness, silence, all the things we like.
Yeah, but silence, that means something bad is going to happen, or at least something powerful. Powerful as a storm. Not necessarily.
Yeah, silence also means nothingness. So like, when you go really deep down to the other world, it's silence around because there is nothing there. Nothing human at least.
And because they don't have a language in the way that we understand it, language as in saying words, they don't have it. So there's silence, it's beyond words. Words are never accurate, and you can't be inaccurate in that reality. So there are no words. But they're heavy with sea storms. So they're connected with natural disasters.
Yeah, and sea storms, they bring deaths. A lot of deaths.
Again, sea is big. Sea storm is really big. And again, words like heavy to make you happy. Or then coming back to the neither female nor male. The bearer of no women, the loins are empty of children.
That's a weird line because usually you say like, she bears a child. I'm confused what it can mean, like the bear of no women.
It means they don't come to women to have children. Yeah. Like some Greek gods like to do. So they don't do it. They're not interested.
Okay.
They don't have children themselves, and they don't come to women to have children with them?
I don't really think it's only about children. Maybe it's about creation in general. Like they don't have any kind of legacy
Yes.
behind them. They do not create anything.
Which is very much unlike the Christian God who creates everything.
You know, demons in Christian mythology, they also create a lot of stuff. There is like a footprint behind them. And here is different.
Well, again, if we talk about Christian tradition or Judaic tradition, we have the word create and we have the word make. We have the word to create in the Torah, in the Old Testament, only 3 times. So one time at the very beginning, the God created light,
The world.
the world.
And
A second time when God created man. And the third time is something that nobody can translate, but usually it's translated as crocodiles. Maybe it's the reptilians. Could be. So that's only 3 times when the word to create is said. Other times it's the verb which means to make. So you have the original material which is created, and then you transform it into something else, but you don't create, you make. Yeah? It's like in that joke about the scientists who come to God and say, "Hey God, guess what? We have news for you." "Yes, I'm listening." What is it? "We learned to create life from dust." "Okay, well that's my dust," says God. No, that's about the same idea. So God creates, then these guys only make. And these guys make nothing. They're empty of children, they bear of no women. They bring emptiness, maybe destruction.
You know what's interesting is that they birth no women, and usually men come to women, but their lawns are empty of children, and usually women have children
but
and
they are
lawns.
neither female
Yeah,
nor
I mean
male.
that's like a little reference to the previous line.
Yes. So you say maybe they're a little bit like male. No. Maybe a little bit like female in the sense that they produce, create. No. They're not interested. Their logic is completely alien to us. So what do they need? What do they want? They're strangers to pizza. Compassion is far from them. What do we say?
Well, it's all said. I think it's just written black and white.
Again, unlike Christian God, unlike Greek gods who have passions and consequently compassion, and who might pity someone, who might, in the next line, answer men's prayers. Nothing of that's not here. Which at least reminds, there was this famous Greek philosopher named Epicure, whose teaching was that there are gods, but they are very much detached from our world. They are not interested in us. They do exist, and they just exist in their own world, and it makes no sense. Epicure used to say to pray to gods, to ask them. They are absolutely different to our prayers.
So maybe see our prayers differently. Like, we say, "Oh God, I want to, with this, I want to be healthy," by meaning like, I want to have a new leg, because mine was eaten by crocodile. And Zeus like, "Oh, so you want to have a lot of women?" "Yeah, I can make that."
So anyway, if you noticed, what we are doing here is we are trying to define by negation. we're trying to find some way of defining these guys.
Yeah. Establishing some boundary which
Each
divides.
time we only get negation. A female? No. Male? No. Do they say anything? No. Bear of no women, and no children, no pity, no compassion. What do they have? So on one hand, we're trying to define these gods. On the other hand, we are trying to define our own humanity, because we are coming from the points which are important for us, which is why rather we take it. So,
Again, in Christianity, sorry, I just always do it. In Christianity, the man was created in the image of God, meaning all these human feelings, including pity, compassion, and are more or less the qualities that God possesses in absolute numbers. And we have them, but they are limited, there's a boundary. So here it seems that nothing of that sort really exists. So these gods do not create men in their own image.
they create nothing.
They create nothing, they are, again, complete strangers to us.
So they're strangers to pizza means they're strangers to our understanding, to humanity. Okay?
Yeah, because pity and compassion are, often seen as positive qualities in our world, but they are devoid of pity, they are devoid of compassion, silence, bringing sea storms.
Seems like they're also chaotic, because when you have feelings and when you do something, you have like a kind of a logic, like you rely on your feelings, on your emotions, and here they don't have feelings or emotions, so
Neither feelings nor emotions, they have no logic. Because you say their logic is different, maybe they
Well,
don't
not
have
human logic. Maybe they have a human logic.
So a big question here is, do you believe that pity and compassion are intrinsic?
In us.
We are born with it, it's natural. Or do you think that pity and compassion only appear under the pressure of society? Because if we believe that pity and compassion are intrinsic, which I believe is true, then we say that they are really, really alien. Not just they were ill-bred, but they are just different in nature. So do we believe that pity and compassion are intrinsic?
All I would say is I do believe that we're born, how can I say, we're born with the God with us, but also with the devil inside us. So we have these both two parts of us inside, and they kind of, they fighting all the time. So we don't have compassion, but we also have something opposite to compassion.
What we do?
And they don't have compassion, but they don't also have an alternative. So
They have nothing.
So why are they doing what they're doing? Because they're evil, angry? Because they want
What are they doing?
Well, the evil
What are they
us.
doing?
They eat people or
They eat people,
planets
yeah.
or what, mountains.
They do nothing.
They eat mountains.
No, they
and
grow
gods.
tall. They grow tall. That's
All
what
they do is devour. Or they feed on mountains, feed on gods. That's all.
Well, it seems like this line, they are horses that grow to great size, that feed on mountains. How can I say? So they kind of feed on mountains illegally. They just come and they eat everything.
So
And they've nothing.
So they are hungry.
they are
creatures.
hungry, they're ever hungry.
Oh,
So all we
creatures.
know about them, they keep eating. All their idea is to swell. Or maybe that's why they're so scary, because
Yeah.
if
They
you
are good
have
representatives of
someone,
the consumer society.
yeah, consumers are scary.
Capitalism, people fight it
Capitalism.
with capitalism.
Yeah.
If
That's what we're fighting for in Western world for now.
Okay. So anyway, if you made someone who is intelligent and has plans to take over the universe, become the evil master, you can always like reason, talk to them.
Yeah, he had a bad childhood.
Here, it's a blind force which has no way of reaching it, no way of talking to it, because it doesn't understand you. You don't understand it. You have no points of connection at all. That point is really great, and somebody in the comments said it's authentically creepy. And maybe that's precisely why, because we're trying to find at least some points of connection. Okay, maybe they're not nice, maybe we can find some points of connection on the evil side, but no. Again, they are what they are. And that's all. It's like, I don't know, we're talking to a snowstorm, maybe. Oh, you're too cold, go away. The deaf to man's prayers. Again, they have no language, they don't listen, they don't care. Their horns that grow to great size, they feed on mountains. So maybe not the real horses, maybe we're not supposed to see horses.
We aren't supposed to see horses.
Good.
We aren't supposed to see horses for at least 13 more minutes.
Good. So there may be horses like seahorses, again like a force of nature, rather than real horses. So do you know many horses that feed on mountains? Is that what horses normally eat?
Well, they do eat grass, right?
Mm-hmm.
And flowers.
Yeah.
And
Not stones.
Yeah, but
Sugar. They eat sugar.
But they like go before the mountains.
So these guys eat anything. They eat rocks, they eat mountains, they eat the world itself, until they grow so big that the universe is too small for them.
Nice.
Have you seen the Yellow Submarine cartoon?
No.
No, oh dear.
I don't like Beatles, like anything. I'm not with Beatles and nothing.
You know, it's just a really great piece of art. Even if you don't care about the Beatles, they have brilliant humor and brilliant images and brilliant everything.
What's it about?
Oh, it's about the blue minis, bad guys who come to a place called Pepperland, which is once upon a time, or maybe twice, somewhere deep below the sea, there was a place called Pepperland. And it was a really happy place, and they liked playing music and just being happy. And then the blue minis came and kind of just took over to make everybody grey and unhappy, because they don't like when people are happy. And one person escaped on the Yellow Submarine to get some help, and he came to Liverpool and found the Beatles. They got them, and they had their journey back, which was really nice and full of adventures. And then they defeated the blue minis. It's nice. It's really funny and brilliant. But anyway, at some point they have a place with monsters, not like evil monsters, but strange creatures. One of them was like a vacuum cleaner, and he just kept sucking in whatever was on his way, and eventually.
Sounds like American.
Yeah. So eventually he just sucked in all the world, and was left in blank space. And then he was like, oh. And he saw his own tail, and he sucked himself in. So that's it.
Nice.
There was only the Yellow Submarine that emerged. So it's kind of what's going on here. They're eager. They're just eating like animals. Oh, I know what it reminds me of. If you know the Lord of the Rings, you may remember that great big spider, the Sherlock. So they are like shallow.
There's also another great, well, it's not great, but it's a good fantasy. It's not a trilogy, it's more like a series of books, and eventually fans, they made a musical. It's Dragonlance, and the musical is called, how is it called? I think it's called Последний испытание. So it's just a story about, the dark magician, Wasteland Majera, who wants like to get the power of the god, of the goddess. So he goes to the underworld, he defeats her, he takes her power, he became a god. But he didn't have compassion, and because he didn't have compassion or love, he couldn't create. So the world just,
Or maybe
sank
just because he
into.
was male and he took the goddess's powers.
No, it wasn't the
Not
reason.
for boys.
No, the reason was that his last test was to show love. So he was capable of love, and he didn't pass it. He took the power, but he couldn't love anyone or anything. Neither his brother, nor the woman who was a priest who helped him. So in the end, he defeated all the gods. He was like the only one, and the world just died because he couldn't create anything, and he was just all alone in the darkness, just wandering around. Yeah, it's like it was at the end.
So, but it's not what's going to happen here, because they don't think like, oh, we should become supreme. Oh, they are 8, 8, 8. Swell, swell, swell.
Yeah, it's not because they had bad parents, because they're
From the animal world.
It's like, again, Stephen King, like when people discover that you are writing horror stories, they always ask you, has your mother dropped you when she saw a three-headed dog? So maybe that's what happened to them. Maybe their mother dropped them when she saw a three-headed dog. So they are horses. Again, not human, something animalistic. And then they're enemies of our friends, which is a beautiful line. It's really short and it really gives you the message. They are the enemies, our friends. So how do they know who is my friend? No, the enemies of your friend. Whoever is your friend, they are the enemy. So it's a really short line, really just few words. It kind of just takes in everything that it can. Makes again a very big. They're not specific. They're not. They think. If they think globally. Like, no, we are the enemies of. That's it. Like, we are the enemies of that race. We are the enemies. No, they are the enemies of everyone. Of our friends.
But can they think?
Can they think? That's another question. Maybe they can't.
If they can't produce anything, if they resist the temptation to have definitions, to set certain boundaries, then they can't really think. Because thinking means dividing your experience into sub-bits. And here it comes all undivided, but it's something evil. They fit.
Yeah, they feed on gods, which is another really tiny short line, which again brings a very big message. So who can feed on the gods?
God-like creature. Someone who is the opposite of a god.
Someone who's more powerful.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Well,
Why
if
not?
their powers are equal, they can still feed on the gods.
Maybe.
Because if they would be more powerful than gods, they would eat the gods.
Yes, that's what they do.
Now they don't. They feed on them. Like they feed on what gods have created throughout the years.
Or maybe they eat the gods as well.
Maybe you're right, but
They feed on the gods. They eat mountains. They feed gods. They eat gods. So again, they grow bigger. First, they're able to eat the mountain. First, they're more or less comparable with humans, because we talk about male, female, children. So, and then they grow bigger. They become horses that can eat mountains. They become even bigger. They can eat gods or eat something that gods create. Maybe. But as we read it, we see the word feed and we see the word gods standing close. So in our mind, we see the image that they can eat gods, which means again, gods. We think, oh, gods, they should be really big and great. That's why they're gods in the first place. But if these guys treat them like food, then how great can they be? Do you think much about biscuits? Like, oh, the mighty biscuit, I'll just eat it.
I do think a lot about biscuits. Sometimes I have dreams about biscuits.
Help yourself.
Oh, thank you. I'm like full now.
There won't be any when you are ready.
Okay, here the highway.
Highway. Now we are in the United States. There are highways
Route 66.
Oh, I.
that somehow spread out over the roads, which means something, but the meaning really escapes me.
Well, it seems to me that highway, well, there is a definition of highway, but still highway, it's a way which goes high above to the sky, you know, to the space.
Yeah.
They spread out, you know, they spread out everywhere, so they're in your house, they're in your friends, they're in the sky, they're on the earth, they're on the ground. They're the dark matter.
Oh, if you believe in
Yeah,
dark
it's
matter.
the poem about the dark matter.
If you believe in dark matter.
I don't know. Well,
I
know
believe in dark
believe.
matter.
I mean, I think it might exist and it might not exist.
Yeah. Because scientists are too stupid. They're too clever. So
Thank
they're
you very
too
much.
stupid.
It's really nice of you to say.
Okay.
No, seriously,
appreciate
they don't do the calculations right, and then they say, oh, we are mistaken by that big number, we need to invent an excuse for it and get some money, basically.
Yeah, but that's how science was created. Scientists do something, eventually some other guy decides that they were mistaken.
Checks it out.
Yeah, creates the new theory, and several centuries after
Let's move again.
another one says like,
we can never reach it. We can only make
okay,
Yeah, but we are approaching something. In science, we are approaching the truth.
if it's science and not that what we have today called science, where they kind of ignore the facts and stuff, and in favor of imaginary mathematics, which when it does not respond to the actual facts, they say that the actual facts are wrong and not their calculations, which is like a bit funny. Okay, anyway.
and the
They.
and eats and eats and eats, and then he sleeps, and after that he eats.
So there are the faces of evil, there are the faces of
Which
evil.
means that there's evil and there's something which is not evil. So at the very end we'll have to, again, to distinguish something which is good and something which is evil and
Maybe
bad.
they represent evil for us because they mean destruction, and they don't put like any kind of real sense in their actions. They just eat because they're hungry and they cannot, get satisfied. And for us, they're evil. But for them, they just do it for what they were born.
Yeah, again, coming back to viruses, is a virus evil?
Oh, for us it is evil.
Well, it's not that I'm
Yeah,
alive.
it's him. Sorry, I just...
Oh,
Mm.
let's see.
Yeah, he looks at everyone like they, stupid humans, and they don't stand a chance to compare to his beauty.
No, never. Hey, that's
So the faces of evil.
not faces.
Yeah, and it is said wise, so maybe the author wants to convince us, so maybe wants like to warn us and like to make us sure that they are the faces
Like
of
us
evil.
here, if you repeat it.
Yeah. And then there's seven, there's seven, there's seven.
So do you think it would make a good song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought that if it's a translation, you know, when you have a book with spells, sometimes it is said like, so first you make some kind of a potion, and after that you repeat these lines for 4 times, for example. So maybe here it is not like words there's 7, there's 7, there's 7 times 7. It's like you have to repeat there's 7, there's 7, there's 7 for 7 times. Just
Yeah, good bit. Maybe you're supposed to read the whole poem sometimes. So, in the name of heaven, let them be torn from our sight. In the name of the earth, let them be turned from our sight. Which is like a natural conclusion for a spell, which is basically what was the whole point of it.
Yeah,
To stop them.
Yeah, now it feels
Are we stopping them, or are we just trying to forget them?
I think we
Out
stopped.
of sight, out of mind.
I think we're stopping him because we say heaven, we say earth, but we do not say hell.
No, because you can't ask.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so hell is
terrible depths. to
terrible
stop
depths,
them.
yeah, they still exist, and these guys, they like, you know, kind of locked
Yeah,
there.
they're at home there. So we still have something greater than these guys, because we can appeal to the heaven and to the earth to stop them. So the name of heaven is still greater than these guys. So it's quite optimistic in that sense, because you create an image of these creatures who are so big and horrible and inhuman and seem to be unstoppable. Like the virus! And let me just say, in the name of heavens, in the name of the earth, go away, be gone. And they obey. Because if they don't, then there's no point in the spell. So there's a power even greater than these faceless guys on the face of evil. So anything else? Anything more interesting?
Oh, as I said, it feels like this ethnopolitics. When you try to write down all the emotions or the spelling issues, but as you said, there is not that much of punctuation, or it's wrong.
It's just because they do not believe in science. Punctuation is science.
Punctuation is magic.
Punctuation is science.
Okay, punctuation is science. Okay.
Hmm?
Okay, I agree.
Okay.
Punctuation is science.
Yes. Yeah. So it's just because when they went to school, they were really bad at spelling with all these spells.
Which is why we just get back to Sumerian. So now, as we read it, now we know that in our universe there are such guys existing. But we know how to face them, we know how to meet them, wearing protective masks.
Oh yeah. And singing.
And singing. Oh, is that it? Yay! Hooray!
Swell.
Wow.
If you would try the song, you would understand that it's really hard to talk in it if you want to
Yeah.
do it phrases and else. Do you want to try it on? Yeah, you can go to Carnival right now.
Yeah. Oh, not bad.
It's so weird, like, it really looks so weird.
Okay. Okay. Well, at least it's nice and peaceful in here today.
In my town, everyone is so happy with coronavirus.
Happy.
Yeah, because yesterday I was sitting at home in the evening. I mean, it might be, I think it was like 9
Okay.
p.m. Some guys, they were, doing fireworks for 2 hours at least.
Well, some people are happy, some are not so happy, like you, that missing their projects.
Yeah, because we have our final exhibition in the end of this year. It's like our diploma exhibition, and it's not only the celebration of 4 years of hard work. It's also like the guys from the industry. They come, they hire some, because it's like it's stated, and everybody got used to this exhibition because it's been going on for 15 years, and now it's cancelled.
Yeah, lots of things are cancelled. And is your university cancelled?
Yeah, it is cancelled for 2 weeks for quarantine.
Yeah,
And-
but what are you supposed to do in between?
We don't know, because we have online teaching, but the biggest point about our universities is facilities like printmaking workshop, ceramics workshop, photo studio, all of the stuff, and we just can't do this. And there are people who depends on other people like me or my peers, and people just says no. They say like, no, we're not going to participate in your project because COVID-19 is around. But I saw in the news in Karpactia, one university, a state university, they do physical education via, not Skype, but via, online conference. And their teacher, he asked them to make a photo how they do sport, to film how they run around the room. It's so funny.
Yeah, it's really.
Your university is also under quarantine, right?
Well, yes, but we are supposed to be teaching, and everyone has installed this Zoom video conferencing software package, and then we, the teachers, we come to the university and we sit there looking at our computer screen, and our students can't come, so they're sitting somewhere in the convenience of their homes and pretend they're listening or pretend, yeah.
I also saw in the news that one university made a conference, well not a conference, a lecture in Minecraft.
Minecraft.
It's a video game, if you know
Oh.
what it is. It's a video game where you build houses.
So do they log into Minecraft, create a character and talk through the character to the students? How do you get it?
History.
History of what?
History of history. Just everything, yes, just
The
everything.
Sumerians.
I just saw that universities' history is like divided, like modern history.
Well, for professional historians it is, but I only teach history to people who study something else, like for example, languages or literature or economy, economics, things like that. So.